Yeah.
Wait, is this the intro? Or are we gonna?
I think we just got the edit in. Yeah. So
No, this can be part of. This is a bit of authentic for the viewers. This is how we start the podcast.
hello, mate. How are you doing?
Good. I'm excited today. I'm excited to be recording the podcast.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while, hasn't it? Has been a while.
Yeah. We've had our first listener email in. Yeah. Did you not look at the emails?
No.
Yeah. Someone emailed in. Janet, age 65. She emailed in about our barbershop episode. Wait, is this before or after the barbershop one? This is before, isn't it?
No, this is after.
Oh, this is after. Okay.
If we publish the barbershop one, yeah.
I like the barbershop one. Anyway, Janet's emailed in about the barbershop episode. She said that she tried to negotiate with her barber.
Yeah.
Janet's a guy, by the way. Basically, she tried to negotiate with her barber before she got a haircut. And now she's kind of regretting life, and she said that she's not able to go out of the house, so she's getting through that by listening to our podcast. So, Janet, we just want to give you a shout out, say thanks for listening. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. Sorry that you can't go outside, but just keep watching, keep listening. Re-listen, bump our views up. Yeah, we appreciate it.
I think I'd love to see a photo, to be honest, Janet. If you just drop a picture of your trim.
Yeah.
What went wrong? Was it? Did he dye it a different colour? Did he give you a skin fade and you kind of didn't ask for that?
Yeah.
You're welcome, Janet. I'm sure you got a pensioner discount anyway, so.
Yep. No, I mean, she didn't send in pictures. So, Janet, slide into my DMs with pictures of your hair. Anyway, it's a good start.
So, yeah, we appreciate you, Janet. Thank you.
Yeah. Listener messages, just send them in. Don't know where you're sending them into, but yeah, we like to hear from everyone.
Yep, our email address is in the description.
Is there a description?
Yeah. Well, it depends what platform you're on. Depends what platform you're
By
on.
the time this goes out, we'll make an email address. But anyway, thanks, Janet.
What is today's episode about then, Luke 10?
It is about Janet's haircut. We're just gonna
No, you forgot, haven't you? Brilliant.
No, it's about what is SIPS.
What is SIPS? Yeah.
Is it worth it?
Got a couple of cheeky little segments. I think I know you're the CEO of segmentation.
Have I delegated this episode because I've not done anything?
You must have, yeah.
I've not done any preparation.
I think so. I'm kind of on the wrong page here as well. So I'm looking at, let's talk a little bit about what SIPS is. If you've never heard of it, you don't know what it is. It's probably worrying that you're on this podcast without knowing that. But equally, you might just be a real procurement passionate person and you're just finding out about SIPS. So we'll tell you a little bit about that. Won't bore you too much, and then we'll talk about the good stuff. So, will SIPS improve your salary? Will it give you kind of what you're looking for? Will it satisfy you? Is it pleasurable? And then we'll go on to the cost of it. Because obviously you've got to do a bit of a cost-benefit analysis and figure out whether it really is worth it for you. So yeah, let's kick off. SIPS. SIPS is the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply.
Did you have that written down?
No, I didn't. I know that one off by heart, actually. Ask me what MCIPS means, a bit different, but SIPS, yeah, no worries. They claim to be the world's largest professional body that serves procurement and supply that are not a profit organisation.
That was really impressive before you added the world's largest, what did you say? The world's largest
professional body, yeah. I left a bit of a gap on it.
I was thinking, wow, are they really? But then...
Yeah, they're the largest professional body serving procurement and supply and who are not a non-for-profit organisation. So it's quite a niche category. That's like us saying we're the largest.
I'm the strongest guy in the gym on Thursday at 7:05 a.m.
And this is the best.
Wearing blue.
Yeah, this is the best procurement podcast run by two guys with the same name who look very similar.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Exactly.
They are recognised by regulatory authorities, as you'd hope, from a chartered organisation.
Positive.
They claim to have over 200,000 procurement and supply professionals and members in over 150 countries.
I do think that is quite impressive. Like, in all seriousness, if you think how many procurement people, even in quite a big organisation, you probably haven't got a procurement team of over, 50 people really.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite impressive to have. What's it? 200,000?
Over 200,000, yeah.
200,000. Fair play.
That is not chartered, obviously, that's members. So that could be an affiliate member, someone on their way to chartership, student. But yeah, no, that is impressive, and that's putting procurement and supply on the map, I suppose. I think if you look at accountancy, there's kind of CIMA, ACCA, ACA. I don't know anymore, but there's those three at least, and there's always a debate over which one's better for you in your career. Whereas in procurement, CIPS, or CIPS.
Yeah, I guess like if you have a falling out with CIPS, or that one's not really for you, there's a bit of a drawback there, though, isn't there?
Yeah,
A monopoly.
Well, is it though? Is it? Do you need CIPS to have a career in procurement? We'll discuss that in a short while. Yeah, so it's quite a large body. They also claim that 58% of employers request MCIPS or studying towards MCIPS when they are looking to hire a procurement professional. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, not surprised by that, to be honest. I see that on a lot of job adverts, although it seems like quite a loose definition, because say for example someone who is MCIPS is probably what's that, like 2 years ahead of someone who's doing their level 4, maybe 3 years. So that's quite a big, that's a generalist. Sometimes they often say like CIPS or equivalent, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know what equivalent means. Maybe like a CIMA or something, and you're just coming across.
Maybe just like any qualification will do. We'll accept anyone.
We'll take anything. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. They kind of just say, or studying for your CIPS and your MCIPS is quite different. Yeah, there is a difference in the levels.
So CIPS is equivalent to a degree then, is it?
Yeah, they claim to be, and look, they talk about having 5 levels of competency that they see a procurement professional having. So you could be an operational professional, a managerial professional, a tactical professional, a professional or an advanced professional.
It's not actually professional, is there?
No, but I was saying professional after the other words, and then I felt that professional needed it as well.
Professional X2.
So yeah, operational, managerial, tactical, professional, and advanced professional. I think when you go through your CIPS journey, you'll often hear about operational levels, managerial levels, tactical, and strategic. They're kind of the 4 that get referenced. And then they go into 4 big, girthy pillars: people development, infrastructure, process, and performance. So effectively, they build up all of their core principles from those areas. So procurement infrastructure, procurement processes, performance as a procurement professional, and how do we develop our people to make sure we're the best in-house.
So just kind of to start at the basics, going through what possible qualifications there are, we've got a level 2 basically to level 6 that you can pick from. I'm pretty sure you can start on 2, 3 or 4. I think you can also start on 5, can't you, if you do like a fast track exam, but you have to be working in procurement for like 5 years or something, and then you have to do like an exam and an interview, and it just seems like a lot of effort.
So the majority of people, I would say from experience, start at level 4. Level 4 is you need a little bit of procurement experience or be in a procurement role, and I think it's the equivalent of a couple of A levels to start. 2 and 3 are really foundational. Dip your toe in it, kind of find out if it's for you. And then you need to go, if you want to get your MCIPS, which makes you an official member of the Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply, you'd be looking at completing level 6. So to get to level 6, you obviously have to complete 4, 5 and 6. And if you don't start at 4, any previous levels as well. So interested to know if you've seen any of the benefits that CIPS claim to kind of give you as being on the MCIPS journey.
So what, from personal experience?
No, so they're obviously, when anyone's trying to sell you a qualification or an education piece, they always try and sell the benefits of it. And I'm just wondering what CIPS would say is, if you go for the MCIPS, what are you going to get out of it?
I would suggest that you can kind of negotiate for a higher rate of pay and probably a more senior role. And obviously with a qualification kind of comes the experience. Maybe it might not be fully applicable to your role, but you're going to pick up bits here and there, and it's going to make you probably a more rounded procurement professional. You're going to be able to know what to do in more situations than you would if you hadn't picked it up. And I guess it's just a way to kind of demonstrate what you have done. You have the ability to get to MCIPS, which probably proves to some potential employers looking at your CV that you're not just
you're kind of committed. Okay, like you're committed to the journey and obviously continued learning in the field of procurement as opposed to meth.
Or if you were a meth addict, you'd be able to procure it at a good value.
It's a good idea, actually. Well, I mean, not idea, good shout. I think
that's what we do when this podcast turns off.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you mentioned about the salary guide. So they claim, and again, it's a claim, obviously, we don't know how reliable their statistics are, that your salary will be increased on average by 7.3% if you have MCIPS, which I thought was quite interesting. The 2023 salary guide said the average wage in the UK is £53,359.
Is that across all the levels? Isn't it?
All levels in the UK, yeah. Interestingly, that includes procurement directors on 113k average.
Okay.
Which I can kind of understand or see. A procurement specialist, 41k. And a procurement manager, 49.2k. So sort of a wide variety there. But what I do like about the sort of salary guide for 2023 is they will show you where the salaries are across the country. So you can filter by region and you can see, well, in Yorkshire it's 5% lower than London, as an example.
Yeah, will probably be more than 5%. I think when it comes to the salary guide, they do survey a lot of people, although it is their own, kind of like marking their own homework.
Oh yeah, for sure. They want it to look good. So, sorry, the 7.3% was overall growth in the UK across procurement as a salary. So, in the year 2023, there's been 7.3% growth. CIPS actually claim that the disparity between MCIPS and non-MCIPS professional level is 20%. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Is that for the same role?
Yes. So what they're trying to say there is if you're a professional level of procurement,
course, yeah.
You will effectively earn 20.1% more if you have MCIPS.
What does a professional level actually mean in like real terms?
Well, they don't define that, do they? That's them probably making what they want of it. You can argue if you haven't got MCIPS, how do you identify whether you're professional or not? And they probably use a certain amount of time in the industry or some other form of benchmark. Did I get a 20% increase when I got my MCIPS? Did I fuck? But that being said, I do feel that if I'd looked elsewhere for another role and moving organisation, I do feel that I could definitely negotiate a higher salary as a result of having MCIPS.
Yeah, I think it shows kind of, just as any qualification would really, it shows that willingness to work towards something and the kind of intelligence to get a qualification like that. I think that's kind of something that a lot of employers would be looking at. Yeah,
and so CIPS again, they reference if you get your MCIPS that you will be able to demonstrate your expertise just through having MCIPS after your name. People will know and recognise that, and that kind of instantly gives you credibility in your role, which I think is a fair assumption. If someone's got their MCIPS, you probably would presume that they're at least half competent. Expertise and intelligence. So they clearly say here, talented and self-motivated professionals are in demand, and MCIPS professionals have evidenced their high level of competency. So if you can evidence your competency, it means you're especially sought after because you've got your MCIPS.
No, that makes sense. I can see that. Would you say from kind of doing the exams, like how kind of difficult and taxing on your time are they? Because obviously people doing these, 90% I suppose are going to have a job to do alongside it as well, which they may or may not get study leave from. Yeah,
that's something you've got to factor in. And there's, well, you kind of, when you do the learning, you meet other people that are doing the exams and kind of see their different scenarios. And there's people that are maybe a single parent going through it, who've got to factor in childcare, or even people with kids that aren't in a sort of single parent household still juggling life. People that are working two jobs and trying to do it. We'll go into funding in a bit, but some people aren't funded and they've then got to think about how they can afford it as well. So there's all those factors. And I think time-wise, I was fairly lucky in the sense that my current role at the time meant I was learning a lot of the things on the job as well. However, there were people who, let's say there was a warehouse manager and he smacked the module about warehousing, but he particularly struggled with some other bits. So it really depends on what your kind of current role is. If you've got quite a broad role, if you're looking at overall, the procurement life cycle is actually something you're doing day to day, then it becomes a lot easier. If you're maybe a category manager or your job's very transactional, then you might struggle to pick up the other things and probably need to put in a bit more time.
Yeah, and I think it talks as well about the differences between public and private sector. So obviously you're only going to be working in one of them. If you've got experience in both, that will help you in those modules. I think in reality, for level, I can only speak for level 4, but it does seem like the type of thing, like once you learn how the questions are asked and what they're looking for, it's sort of like if you were a warehouse manager, might not be directly applicable to your role.
Yeah.
But you can still understand the theory.
Oh, absolutely.
Still get the qualification.
Absolutely. But what I kind of noticed is if you were, let's say, a warehouse manager, then it took a bit more of your initial time to get to grips with, let's say, stakeholder management or and a contractual negotiation, because it's kind of out of your comfort zone. And I think everybody will have a couple of modules that sit outside of their kind of core business understanding of what they do on a day-to-day basis, but that only benefits you, as they kind of say on the CIPS website.
So would that obviously would feed into your kind of decision making around whether you want to do CIPS as well? What else would you kind of talk or think about if you were trying to make that decision whether to start on?
So it's quite a long qualification if you're doing it via the exam route. Even if you start at level 4, if you follow the exam windows when they're open, you're looking at a minimum of 3 years, assuming you don't overload yourself with exams. You can always do as many exams as you want in an exam window, but you want to try and avoid burnout. So the time you're going to spend on it, you need to kind of factor in, well, in the next 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, am I willing to commit, a day a week or 2 days a week, 2 hours a week sort of thing to exams, to studying and all of that.
I guess the thing with exam routes as well is that probably on average it's going to be about a day a week, but obviously as that gets closer to the exam window, your actual exam that you're going to be taking, that will ramp up. So you maybe after you just finish the exam for the next couple of months or next month, you won't really be doing anything. But then, in the 2 weeks before, you're going to be needing that flexibility, or I needed that flexibility to be able to just go like, right, I'm dedicating this weekend completely to revising because I've got my exam on a Monday or exam on a Tuesday. Yeah. So if you haven't really got that flexibility, obviously that makes it more difficult. Doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do it, but it just kind of is another factor to consider.
Yeah, no, it does factor into it. And some companies don't give you study leave the few days before your exam. Everyone's got different kind of exam styles. What does work in your favour is that a lot of the topics are repeated in level 4, in level 5 and level 6. Mendelow's stakeholder management, I'll keep going back to him, but that's something that comes up all the time. And you will just find that once you learn these 2, 3, 4 core theories, you just take them into the next level and you just expand a little bit, or you give more of a case study. And like you said earlier, learning about how you actually answer the questions is probably just as important, if not more important, than the actual content of what you're writing. And then, of course, the other thing is cost,
which I have no.
You have no idea on
information about. Well, I have sort of investigated it with one provider, and I think, I don't know if this is average or not, but I think they were kind of talking about 3,300-ish per level, but that's including kind of tutor, study time, booking the exams, the e-learning, which they've kind of built previously, looking to recoup their costs on. But obviously that's going to depend and vary on the trainers and what reputation they've got, what they're able to charge, I suppose.
Yeah, so before you embark on your MCIPS journey, I would highly suggest speaking to your employer first, making sure that, or asking if they've got funding, if they're willing to fund, what they would be willing to fund. I think at the minimum, a procurement department should be funding your membership. So membership as a student or a part qualified person is £195 in your first year, and then £145 in following years. So that alone is obviously quite a lot just to get in, but but your employer should really be paying for those. So just make sure you're asking. The exams, as you were saying, Luke, it's do you use a study centre at school, someone that's got resources and will dedicate time to training you, or are you doing it self-study? You will almost always need to be buying a textbook, and you will need to be booking an exam and paying the exam fee. So just at a high level, we'll use level 4 as an example. An exam fee is around £72, £71, something like that.
What, that's just booking the exam?
That's booking the exam. So a CYPS exam centre, £71.50 for booking an exam. And then you also pay a fee for the exam centre or the privilege to sit it on your own laptop at home. And that fee is £45.
But you pay the same even if you're sitting at home?
No, you pay more if you're sitting at home. So to sit at home, I think it's £70 for a remote exam.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and someone will watch you on a webcam while you're answering. And you pay a lot more. Whereas, I say that if you're paying it yourself, you still got to get to the exam centre.
Yeah.
And you factor that in, but that's £45.
Listening to the podcast on your way to the exam.
Yeah.
How much is that? How many years does that take off your life?
What our podcast?
What value do you put on those years of your life?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. So that's just for the exam, and that's level 4. At every level, it goes up a little bit. So £71 and £45 and £70. That's for the essay exams. So the multiple choice ones are a little bit cheaper. That's £55 for an exam, £33 to the exam centre, and £50 for the privilege of sitting at home to do a multiple choice exam. So one multiple choice exam at level 4, sitting it at home without any textbooks, £34 a textbook. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, £34 a textbook. And then the £40 if you want not if you want, £40 for the essay exam textbook. So they charge you more for the essay exam textbook. So £40 a book, £35 for the essay. You can buy e-learning editions, cheeky little PDF form that they send you over, a PDF format that they send you over for £20 instead. So you can make a little save in there, but I think actually what I ended up doing was looking online for some pre-owned textbooks at some point as well, because a lot of people don't have a use after qualifying for 25 textbooks.
Yeah, maybe we should start like a marketplace for textbooks.
CYPS textbooks.
Yeah, just only CYPS textbooks. Because obviously once you're done with them, you want to get rid of them.
You want a bit of cash.
Just give them to us. We can take cash. We'll give you like a £5. We'll give you a £5.
Yeah.
And delivery costs £4. So we'll just give you £1.
Yeah, it's got to be attractive for both sides, isn't it? It's not.
Well, it's attractive for the listeners because they get to recoup the space in their house that the books were taken up. How much will that work? And an extra £1 on top of that. You're getting paid.
I think we need to look into the logistics of that, but I haven't really got much room at home for 1,000 books. But given it's just Janet listening at the moment, maybe we can do this.
Janet can host them, to be fair. If she's stuck inside all this time.
Yeah, she'll be our librarian.
Brilliant.
Cheers, Janet.
Cheers, Janet. We signed you up for our podcast librarian.
What a woman. So let's say you're sitting an essay exam at home. An essay exam at home. That's £141.50 plus £40, so just shy of £200 to sit the exam and have a textbook for level 4. So that's £200. However, you can also have, like Luke said, a exam school that will tutor you, and obviously their fees will vary. The one I used, circa £250 a module, I believe, maybe £300 a module, which would effectively put you up to £500 per exam. Yeah. However, they were good. They did break that down. So the £300 fee would either cover one essay exam or 2 multiple choice exams. They would say that the content in a multiple choice exam is not as heavy and not as intensive in terms of training and mentorship.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, I mean, £200 times 8, I don't know what that is. Quick maths.
Something with a 16.
£1,600.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's £1,600 just to sit your exams and have a textbook for each one for level 4. That's roughly, obviously, I'm probably rounding up. If you want to factor in the SIP school, using the average price, £500 in exams at £500 times 8, £4,000. So that's what you're looking at per level, somewhere between £1,600 and £4,000 a year.
Which sounds about right.
But how does it sound to your wallet?
Yeah, but then you could also kind of offset that. I know we've talked about the drawbacks quite a bit, but the benefits, so obviously you can command a higher salary and you look more attractive to an employer, because there is one module about how to do your hair, so that's why you look more attractive.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, you haven't done it clearly.
Well, I would certainly say that when I got my level 4, I noticed an increase in my salary, my job role, and probably my general confidence and competence in procurement. Level 5, nothing really happened. It was more of just developing on what I'd learned.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird in-between level, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you say, I got SIPS level 5, like...
It's the middle level. It's like, yeah. And then 6, obviously, getting the MCIPS led to a promotion. As I may have said before, but lucky enough that the company has paid for it on the basis that I served time afterwards, which is fair. I think, again, if your company is offering to fund your qualification, you probably want to consider whether that is the right environment to be in. So do you want to be in this company for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years while you do your qualifications, or can you do one level and then have the option to kind of just leave it there? Just make sure you kind of read the terms and conditions they stick in front of you before you sign it and crack on.
And it's a balance, isn't it? Because you're kind of, everything's really a balance in terms of SIPs. You've got to balance the cost against the value it could bring you. You could also got to balance more on your plate in terms of things you'll be doing day-to-day work and exams, because I reckon generally most employers will be saying, like if something urgent comes through for work, you're expected to be dealing with that before you start on any revision stuff.
To a degree, yeah. It's, work-life balance and kind of encouraging a better way of working. I think we're getting there as that approach from employers. But yeah, if it's a burning fire that you need to put out, then of course you probably have to prioritise that. But it definitely pays dividends, I think.
So sort of in summary, we're not really saying you should or you shouldn't do it. We're saying it definitely brings about benefits.
Yeah.
But there's definitely also things to consider in terms of extra workload that you have to do. And
for sure. So you need to evaluate where you are in your current position. So have you done 15, 20 years of experience in procurement already, never done your SIPs? Will it actually make a material impact to the rest of your career? Yes or no? Are you at the start of your career? How certain are you that procurement is where you want to be? I would say that it's quite a transferable qualification. You learn a lot about, obviously, engaging with stakeholders, suppliers, things you can use in general negotiation, so you can definitely use it elsewhere. The other thing is obviously the cost side of it. So you have to consider whether you're paying for it all yourself, whether that fits with your current financial situation. Will the employer help you? What's kind of in your contract? But you certainly become a better procurement professional for having MCIPS, I would say.
And confidence, as you just said, that is something that's really a required skill in procurement. I think that is quite underrated as well. Sometimes you have to have confidence to speak up.
Yeah.
When stakeholders are telling you one thing and you're not sure that that's the real case. But yeah, I think it's been hopefully helpful. Hopefully some people have learned from it. I guess from a selfish perspective, which is the only perspective that matters,
Brilliant.
we think that you should do SIPs. I'm going a bit off script here, not that we have a script in the first place, because if you do SIPs, you have to listen to more of the podcast.
You have to. I mean, we're free material, to be fair. You don't pay for us.
Wait,
No.
we should start charging. This is brilliant.
No, we shouldn't, mate. This is just pure pleasure. So I think
If we get one listener who listens for free, we'll be happy, to be honest.
yeah,
Janet's
Maybe.
colleague.
yeah.
Maybe we should fire Janet.
Wonder what she's spreading instead.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Obviously
That's
butter.
Yeah, she's learning about SIPs.
Butter on her toast while she studies.
Yeah, well done, Janet. Well, kind of, if there are comments, then comment RIP Janet. Hope your hair grows back soon. But I think that's the end of what I want to talk about today. And again, we're going to do this. I've decided we're going to carry on doing this thing about if you send this podcast to someone if you really don't like them, or if you at one point in your life saw a pair of brown socks, and if you have been sent this, either the person really hates you or they've seen a pair of brown socks at some point in their life.
What a shout.
But you'll never know which one.
Janet hates you.
Janet has bad hair, so she can get to fuck anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, bye Janet. Thanks for sending in your email, and
See you later.
later.